Rebel's Manifesto. We're in chapter 7. It's on entertainment. Now, I love entertainment. I love streaming. I love podcasts. I love YouTube. I love listening to all that stuff that's out there and watching all that stuff. And there's just so much of it. There's just no way I'm going to get through to the end of all that. You know, there's no end. There's all kinds of stuff as far as entertainment. You know, you can kind of lump in there games and game playing. And I'm not just talking about video games, even though that can be a big part of it, but playing Catan or Uno, you know, just anything that's entertainment. It's a big category, and I get it. A lot to think about. And in regard to entertainment, particularly the things that I like to watch, I like watching things like that Alive program, Survivor, Amazing Race, things like that, where people are kind of put in difficult situations and they've got to kind of persevere. I like stuff like that because it's kind of real life. It's putting people outside in situations that they don't normally find themselves in. And frankly, I'm not going to find myself in probably at this stage in my life. Even though I could put together an audition tape. Anybody want to do Amazing Race with me? I know me and Nolan wanted to do that a long time ago and never did follow through. Anyway, Sean's chapter on entertainment, there's a lot to cover there. A lot of books have been written in regard to this subject, and you can break it down, like I said, in so many different pieces. There's so much entertainment out there, but he does ask a lot of good questions. At the end of the chapter are some real good questions. Just kind of think through as to what you're watching here and what you're doing. But just a brief look at the book. It's hard to do this with one hand, but here you go. He talks about, does media really affect us? And the fact of the matter is it does. There's been studies on it. You can look at all that stuff. There's all kinds of stuff online in regard to that. And whether you believe it or not, it affects us. How couldn't it? People are spending millions on marketing and ads and stuff like that to get your attention. It affects us. Quit acting like it doesn't, okay? It's just not a good argument. But he covers that, and it's just a short section. But then he jumps into watching movies, and he's zeroing in on movies specifically with wisdom. You know, one of the things, what are the questions you're going to ask yourself in regard to what you're seeing here? Because worldviews matter, and there's worldviews within all the entertainment that we listen to and watch. Everybody's shaped by something that they believe, and you need to kind of think through that. Now, in many ways in our lives, we think through issues. You know, we look at a house that we're going to buy, or, you know, even in a loaf of bread, we're kind of looking the things over, the price, sometimes reviews, if we're going to do an Airbnb, to find out whether I want to stay there or not. We think through these things, but a lot of times for media, movies specifically, we just kind of, you know, it's the popular thing. I'm just going to watch it because it's what everybody else is watching. But Sean encourages us to use some thoughtful questions. Use some wisdom as we think through this, because we are being sold, so to speak, a worldview. And he did, like I said, at the end of the chapter, he's got a not a lengthy section, but a little bit more robust section on thinking Christianly about movies. And he has some good questions there. You know, what's the moral of the story? You know, how are Christians, other religious people being portrayed? What's the worldview here? What are the consequences of sin? People's actions. You know, what's being communicated here? You should think through that. That doesn't mean that you kind of look at all movies and go, well, if it's not Christian, I'm not going to watch it. You know, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of good movies out there, and I can name you a ton of them that got a great story. And even with maybe even a secular mindset at the rock surface of it, the core of the story is even Christian morality and pictures of what Jesus has done for us and loving us and being kind to us and forgiving and compassionate. That comes out in so many movies that I've enjoyed over the years, like movies like Return to Me, or some difficult stuff in the Shawshank Redemption, but interesting pictures of forgiveness and redemption in a story like that. Man, drawing a blank right now, but I can list a bunch of stuff, and maybe I shouldn't have just listed just those, but anyway, something to think through as you go through. And then Sean ends the chapter by talking about Jesus using stories. Now, Jesus didn't make a TV program or anything like that. That's not Jesus in The Chosen, okay? Good show, good to watch, but it's not Scripture, The Chosen, talking to you about. But Jesus did use stories. He used parables. He used object lessons. Different ways to communicate points, to communicate truths to his followers. And, he even said, for all those who have ears to listen, it's kind of like, okay, you need to think through this. In a sense, you need to use wisdom to kind of think through, okay, what I just told you right now, I want you to have buy-in on this. I want you to be like whatever, or I don't want you to be like whatever this parable is portraying. But I need you to think through it, and I need you to buy into it. And that's all I'm asking from you all, is to think through so you can initially, and more importantly, buy into what God says about the choices that we make, the things that we put in our eye gate, the things that we listen to. Very important. And we got to use wisdom there. We got to walk humbly before the Lord as we go into that. Anyway, good chapter. Take it for what it's worth in regard to my thoughts about it, but there you go. Take care, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.